"25 years ago, as an alternative to the prevailing top-down extension method of promoting farm-based experimentation, group organization, and local decision-making at national and regional scale, the African Forum for Agriculture Advisory Services, with support from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and other donors, facilitating field schools networking and technical support to the field school initiatives in 11 countries in Eastern Africa.
The field school as an approach has a long history. In Uganda it was introduced in 1990s, and it has been expanding, and generally in East Africa it has been one of the most important noble approaches that has been functioning, especially in Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, of course with Tanzania, Ethiopia and other countries. And this is a noble approach in that it empowers the farmers. It is also embedded in the principle of experiential learning. Now, for the integration process, the East Africa Field School Hub is working with FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, to try to bring all the actors in the field school together.
The quality of farmer field schools implementation and harmonization across the actors, maintaining the flexibility required for the continuous adaptation and improvement of the approach to institutionalize farmer field schools in Uganda.
The farmer field school approach is a practical issue. You cannot do farmer field schools in class. Remember, a farmer field school is a class without walls. So that means that we have to go outside. But of course, for us as academicians and research scientists, what we do is that we first theorize. You have inevitably talk about these things in class, but then time comes for us to go out. And how do we do this? We are planning to get in touch with already established farmer field schools. There are actually quite a number in Uganda. But as Makerere University, we are trying to begin our own farmer field schools at Kabanyol. So that when it comes for time for practicals, we can take our students nearby in Kabanyol and then they learn these things.
The potential of the farmer field schools approach increasingly recognized mainstreaming farmer schools within national extension systems varies highly. Integration of knowledge in mainstream institutions of higher learning has been minimal in strengthening the capacity of academicians.
So it was of paramount importance that the institutions of higher learning come on board, and also the government of Uganda recognized through the Ministry of Agriculture that this extension methodology is really delivering good results as far as transforming our subsistence farmers into semi-commercial farmers is concerned. And so they teamed up with FAO and developed this TCP, which then brought in the institutions of higher learning. We are piloting with 6 institutions at the moment, and it has so far flowed very well. And we believe that if this goes on as it is, then the government would mainstream it in the extension strategy of the country, and therefore be able to mainstream it in the financing and the budgeting of agricultural extension in Uganda.
Professional careers in the field, which translates to quality and more client-oriented agriculture extension service delivery, has contributed to community farmer field schools outreach in complementing classroom teaching, higher institutions of learning.
One, I feel to help us to enhance our outreach programs, because once we go to the farm, then we can use that as an avenue to even teach other innovations through the field schools. And then the students also have a chance to interact with farmers at a close range and work with them That means they'll be more confident when they go out as field extension officers, as teachers. So it's a very great opportunity to go through these field schools. And also it builds confidence in them because they learn from the farmers. They also do the research to get more information to share with the farmers. So
the way farmer field school is structured, the way the farmers learn on their learning sites, they do a lot of documentation. Whatever they learn, they document it. They have books, they have manila paper, they have charts, and everything that happens is documented. Who has participated, what they have learned, the lessons they have learned is documented. So this is very good for monitoring and evaluation.
Stakeholders in the efforts to enhance the institutionalization of the farmer field schools methodology in institutions of higher learning share lessons, challenges, and opportunities in institutionalizing the program in the country.
We need more trainers. We need more experts in the methodology. At the high level, we have what we call master trainers, and actually in Uganda we have very few. So my advice would be that our partners like the FAO should engage with our Ministry of Agriculture and design a program for getting as many master trainers as possible. We know there are so many extension workers in the field who have not mastered the approach. We want to bring them on board, and we have to structure a course for them and make it compulsory for every extension worker to undertake this training so that they can implement the FFS approach. We are working with the groups which we are inducting in the methodology, and they are already very excited about it because they look at their crops, they look at the various challenges in terms of pests and diseases. They discuss about how they can control. They look at the different types of fertility, the water requirements, and they are learning, and they are very excited about it.
Formalization of the program process in Eastern Africa, especially Uganda, has bridged space between stakeholders in order to enhance harmonized, systematic capacity building of the future cadre of field schools actors.
So one lesson that we're seeing is that those facilitators, those master trainers, those extension workers who are facilitating field schools, who are facilitating any other approach that is on the field, if they are retooled, if they are given refresher courses, which we do in the field school, definitely their effectiveness increases. The way they deliver services is enhanced. So we need always to do that. But most important again is that we need to work together. Partnerships, collaborations are important in delivering efficient and effective field schools in the region. So,
as a mobilization tool for the promotion and institutionalization guidance on the process, the farmer field schools methodology in institutions of higher learning, particularly academic instructions like universities and colleges.
This approach is actually a very good approach, specifically for research-based extension system in our communities. Firstly, because it involves the community in the identification of the problem, it involves the community in generating solutions to those problems, and it involves the technical people working together with the farmers to ensure that these problems are actually solved. So I learned that it's very participatory and it allows ownership of solutions that are being developed. Because we have a lot of solutions that are being developed in the laboratory or in research stations and taken to farmers. At the end of it, farmers don't use these technologies simply because they were not involved in the identification and then in the generation of the solution. But I feel this is a field-based approach that farmers are really taking it up and then really owning the whole thing. So
the Farmer Field Schools methodology has bridged the space between Ministry of Agriculture and other stakeholders in order to enhance harmonized, systematic capacity building of the future kind of farmer schools actors that will translate to quality and more client-oriented agriculture extension service delivery.
As the coordinators, we are going to build their capacity on how those models work. And even we have also put, we are developing a curriculum with the training institutions so that they can also be able, because the project we are undertaking is called Institutionalizing farmer field schools into the training institutions curriculum. So a draft is already out. They are pursuing other steps to ensure that other processes to ensure that it is integrated in the curriculum.
Academicians now have a better sense of what content to cover in farmer field schools, considering the students' and community's reception, participation and implementation of the project in the different institutions of higher learning.
For us as academic institutions, our role is to empower our students so they are able to do what we teach them here correctly in the field. And once that happens, and the indicators we can get in the field, farmers, you can go to the farmers, you ask them, they can, when they start a cropping cycle or whatever, growing cycle, you can go and find out what you are doing, and that is evidence, what they are doing, and that is evidence that actually what we thought has been implemented. And I'm very confident that farmer field schools will take root in this country. They have already taken root because I'm told there are over 3,000 farmer field schools established across the country. But all we need is to organize them better so that we have effective agricultural production in this country.
The future prospects on institutionalizing farmer field schools is a great success story to Ugandan communities across the country, especially in the agriculture sector, with hope to involve private sector players in the program for effective development.
We know activities of farmer field schools have to go with particular enterprises. So the fact that these groups we have all those enterprises. Two, there must be savings and credit facility scheme that they are engaging in. You know, this money they keep on putting in weekly, week in, week out, is the one that unites them. Somebody knows that he has something there, so he has to keep going there, checking to see how it is progressing. So that's one area that we feel shall really work on reliability, on self-reliance of the group. Then another thing is now there must be food. And that's why through interactions with this new group, you found out that they are engaging in particular enterprises, and their major interest is to improve on their income levels, nutrition levels, and of course not purposely for issues of eating, but eating nutrients that can even build their bodies physically, psychologically, and mentally. The project that we are implementing is a long-time project basing on the status of the government of the Republic of Uganda and Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. So of course we are sure every year new students keep coming, and basing on the nature of the project, they will have to come to National Farmers Leadership Center. So that means that we shall always be in touch with these groups, as when they come to National Farmers Leadership Center, they are able now during the field practices, we shall be taking them now to these groups to interact with them, how farmer field school work, how ISA is, how does it work, how is it important in as far as enriching them with skills, extension skills, and all that is concerned. So we feel this project shall not die out. We shall be able to be there for the group members to make sure that everything runs.